What's up, everybody? I'm here at Brazos East Park, also known as the Beast, here in Waco, Texas, for the Waco Annual Charity Open. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to kind of run you through my entire game plan. So I'm going to walk through each hole, what disc I'm throwing, and how I want to throw it. And it'll be sort of a, a game plan / in the bag type video. So hole 1 is a 291-foot par 3, and I will be throwing my 2020 Gannon Undertaker. There's a couple ways you can attack it, but I typically go straight up the middle and shoot the gap. Was a headwind during this shot, so I definitely wanted to make sure I threw something with a little bit of stability, really hard and flat. So hole 2 is a 531-foot par 4 for the FPO division, and I'm definitely going to go stable thrasher. This is my most stable ESP thrasher, but also the 2022 Tour Series thrashers are pretty stable as well. So I threw both of these and they landed pretty much in the exact same spot. For the approach, I am going forehand with a Captain's Raptor, just nice and overstable. I know it'll spike right into the green. Hole 3 is a 320-foot par 3. There's usually a good amount of wind coming off the Brazos River, so definitely going with the ESP Zeus. I just have to hit it nice and hard and flat, and I know it's going to hyzer to the basket, and it's perfect for the shot. Hole 4 is the first hole in the woods. It's a 441-foot par 4, and the name of the game is to just stay in the fairway. I am reaching for my 2021 Disc Golf Pro Tour Player of the Year, Z-Swirl Undertaker, to do exactly what I want to do and stay in the fairway. On the approach, I'm also throwing a Z-Swirl Undertaker. It is my 2020 Tour Series, and it's a little bit blind to the basket, but I'm going to throw it on a nice forehand line straight, and I know it's going to get a nice fade towards the basket. Hole 5 is a 264-foot par 3. It definitely plays a little longer because the basket sits up on a hill, so I like to throw a faster disc right at the hill and have it slide up there. I'm going to be throwing my pretty beat-in ESP Thrasher for this one. Hole 6 is one of the tightest gaps we have to hit on this course, and I'm opting to throw a forehand again with my 2020 Tour Series Z-Swirl Undertaker. It's only 267 feet downhill, kind of blind, off to the right. I just can hit it flat, and I know it's going to fade right to the basket. Hole 7 is a 429-foot par 4, and once again, I'm leaning on my Z-Swirl Undertaker. Doesn't matter how far you get off the tee, you just have to make it out of the gap and ride a little bit left and give yourself a wide open shot. So I landed in the perfect spot, centered in the fairway, and now I just have a straight shot over the ravine. So I will be throwing my Z-Soul for the approach. Hole 8 is a 213-foot par 3. This is the shortest hole in the course, and this one might be the tightest gap, but I'm kind of in between game plans at the moment. I will either be throwing a backhand with my Crystal FLX Fierce or a forehand with my Pierce Buzz. Haven't quite decided, but they both worked out great, and we'll make a decision later on. Hole 9 is a 519-foot par 5. It is relatively short for a par 5, but there's a lot of danger that you can get into. I'm throwing my ESP Swirl Thrasher, definitely trying to get all the way to the bottom of the hill and possibly even give me a chance at an eagle. So in practice, I didn't quite get all the way down to the bottom of the hill, so I ended up having to pitch up with my TI Buzz on a forehand line to stay in the center of the fairway, and from there, it's a simple hyzer forehand with my zone. Hole 10 is a 491-foot par 4, and it's really just a big rip off the tee that is going to stay dead straight and keep you in the middle of the fairway. So for me, I'm throwing my ESP Swirl Thrasher. I almost made it all the way to the left side of the fairway, but I was still in the middle, and it left me with a soft hyzer shot, and I used my ESP Swirl Challenger SS. Hole 11 is a 279-foot par 3, and this shot is just a dead straight shot. For me, I'm trying to get up to the top of the hill, kind of to the right side of the basket, so I'm throwing my Big Z Mantis. Hole 12 is a 609-foot par 5, and off the tee, I'm going with my Z Soul. This tee shot bends ever so slightly to the right, so you really don't want to hyzer out. You have to be in the middle to have any shot at a clean approach to the bottom of the hill. For the approach shot, I'm throwing my ESP Thrasher on a forehand. I did land a little bit on the left side of the fairway, so it left me with a standstill forehand approach, but I'm not trying to get all the way to the basket just yet. I'm just trying to stay in the middle and land on the bottom of the hill. For my third shot to the green, I will be throwing my ESP Meteor. It's just a nice, soft, straight shot to the basket, and it's perfect for the Meteor. Hole 13 is a 555-foot par 4, and I will be throwing my ESP Thrasher. There is a Mando on the right side of the fairway, so I just need to throw something really far, and I personally like to end to the left side of the fairway. For the approach, I am throwing my ESP Meteor. I actually landed a little bit straighter off the tee than I normally do, so instead of throwing a hyzer into the green, I ended up having to throw a straight shot. So if I do land there, then I will be throwing this disc to get to the green. Hole 14 is a 303-foot par 3, and I'll be throwing my ESP Thrasher. There's a couple different ways to get to the basket. I'm actually trying to throw that right side hyzer line. I did early release this a little bit, but I still know it's the right disc for this hole because even with a missed release, I only landed about 20 feet left of the basket. Hole 15 is a 558-foot par 4, and I'm throwing my ESP Thrasher once again. There's an OB fence all along the right side, and the road on the left is also OB, so you just have to stay dead straight, and it really doesn't matter where you land off the tee, just as long as you're in bounds. For the approach, I am trusting my Z Swirl Undertaker. I like throwing a nice gentle hyzer into the screen that's going to spike right next to the basket and get me the birdie. Hole 16 is a 609-foot par 4, and once again, trusting my ESP Thrasher. This is just a big distance shot, and you're trying to get as far down the fairway as you can to give yourself a shorter approach. So I love this ESP Thrasher. On the approach, I'm throwing my lightweight Z Swirl Undertaker. I decided to go straight at it and hit my Undertaker really hard and get a little bit of fight at the end. Hole 17 is a 530-foot par 4 dog leg. Off the tee, I'm throwing my ESP Thrasher. There was a slight headwind during practice today, so I'm just really trying to aim for those big trees up on the top of the hill and ideally land past them, but really anywhere up top is a good spot. For my second shot, I'm opting to throw a forehand with my ESP Zeus. There is always a lot of wind coming off the river on this one, so I did throw the forehand a little bit soft, but I am down in the fairway right around circle 2. Hole 18 is a 468 par 4 iconic. Off the tee, I'm playing the layup with my Raptor. I'm just fine getting a birdie and ending my round there, so I am throwing the layup shot, trusting my Raptor over the water and spiking it right onto the flat area for my second shot. Second shot over the water, I'm throwing my Z Swirl Undertaker. I just need to trust it out to the right and spike it right into the green. This is a tricky green, but it also is a little bit of a softer par 4, so it's definitely one that you want to get. So that's my game plan for the Beast here in Waco. This game plan is subject to change because we can deal with all sorts of wind out here, different directions, changing from day to day. So while I hope that I could stick to this game plan, I will have to be flexible and make some game time decisions. But I feel good about how I want to attack this course, and I think that I could shoot really well out here. So if you like this video, I hope to do more in the future, maybe one for each event coming up if time allows, but yeah, I just thought it would be really cool to kind of do a game plan / in the bag type video and kind of key you guys in on how I practice and how I prep for each event. So if you like this video, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.